So now our meeting's recording. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and actually just run through a few things that we can work through as we go through this whole online process. First thing, I want to pull up the chat. That way, if you do type anything, I can see it. Let's hide that over here. First thing, all the important stuff that we're going to talk about is located here in our Google Classroom. I've noticed that pretty much everybody has joined the Google Classroom, which is awesome. And everybody's interacted with it in some way, so right on. You can type in any questions you want, like Yesenia already did that. Just by sharing something with the class, you can really add anything to this stream. First thing I shared with you was the syllabus. The syllabus has some important stuff in it, so I'm going to open it up and we can take a look at it real quick. It's just the information about the classroom. All of you have that anyway. You've all been able to get into it. On Tuesdays and Fridays, those are the days that I'm suggesting that you work on pre-calculus stuff. I will have everything posted for our class on those days. So Tuesdays and Fridays. I might have it a day early. Sometimes you might see something on a Monday or Thursday, but by Tuesdays and Fridays, pre-calculus assignments should show up. Period 3, this time is kind of a suggested time. It's not the mandatory time that you work on anything. This is a good time for you to think, hey, maybe I should work on pre-calculus stuff if you're in period 3 from 9 to 9:50. From 9:55 to 10:45, that would also be a decent time for you to actually work on pre-calculus stuff if you're in 4th period. Office hours. So office hours are a non-mandatory optional time for you to ask questions. Every Tuesday and Friday, I will host office hours exclusively for pre-calculus students between 12:15 and 2:15. So you don't have to go to office hours unless you have a question that you want to ask me. You'll also have an open office hour period for all my classes between 1:45 and 2:30 on Wednesdays. Signing up for office hours. Let me go back to our Google Classroom. I shared with you a Google Sheet. If you were to open this up, Raquel is asking, will that be on WebEx? Yes, actually, yes. Office hours will be held through WebEx. How it's going to work, though, is you have to sign up for it. So this is the Google Sheet. Ramon wants to annotate the shared content. Sorry, Ramon, I am going to decline you. This is the Google Sheet for signing up for office hours. Calculus is here in green. So say it's a Tuesday like today. I actually held this meeting during office hours. So this would normally be the time for office hours for any time period during that 2-hour window that works for you. You can sign up individually or you can sign up as a group. So maybe I decided that I wanted to sign up for a meeting at 12:45. I had some questions. They're broken up into 15-minute increments, but it could go longer than that if your questions last a bit longer. So maybe my name's John. You would just type your name right there if you wanted to have your meeting individually. If you and 2 friends all wanted to ask me the same question at the same time and get that same answer, 2 other people can sign up in that second. So maybe the Beatles just joined my meeting. So I have John, Paul, and Ringo all joining me. So that should be pretty easy for you to sign up whatever time works for you. Obviously, this is a live document, so I hope that you don't end up writing weird things in here. I can see anything that anybody edits. Don't delete other people. So if somebody decides to take the 12:45 window, don't delete them and put your name. Leave other people's stuff alone. All the other stuff you shouldn't be able to edit anyway, so this is where you would sign up for office hours. Again, to access this, it's right here in our Google Classroom. I'll post a new one of these every week. because the documents can be different every week. So you can always access it. It'll be posted on Google Classroom. Back to the syllabus. Other thing that's going to happen is we're going to have tutoring. Precalculus tutoring is this almost 2-hour-long period on Wednesdays. Tutoring is different from office hours because it is a open meeting. I'll be in WebEx just like we are right now, and you can log in at any time during that period that you want, and it can be many different people in here. It'll just be a group discussion on whatever work we have. So I might be helping another student on something. They might have a question, and that could pertain to you as well. Did my screen just stop sharing? I feel like it did. Weird.
Yeah, stop sharing.
Okay, I'll reshare it here. All right, I think it's good again. All right, let me open the chat window again. There we go. Okay, so again, tutoring, anytime during that 2-hour period, you can log in and ask me any questions you want. Should be fairly simple. I'll try to get to everybody during that period, but hopefully if one student's asking a question, it'll apply to somebody else. I'll be doing that through my iPad, so I'll actually be able to write just like I always do in class. I always write on the screen through my iPad, so I'll be writing on my iPad and you'll be able to see everything that I write. So I'm hoping that works out well. Haven't done it yet, other than with other teachers. So hopefully it doesn't get too complicated through that. It also lists some just remote learning expectations. Our grading breakdown is the same. And that's bringing up an important point here that people have been asking me quite a bit about. Most of the stuff that we're going to be doing online is going to be in the coursework assignments category. That's only worth 20% of your grade. So improving your grade by doing assignments is one way, but the bigger way to improve your grade would be through assessments. If you remember, the day before break, we took a test, and I haven't put that into Zangle yet. The reason I haven't done that is because the district has decided that your Q3 grade is the minimum grade that you can earn at this point. So if I were to enter those test grades in at this point, I could only count them if they improve your grade. So I can't count anything that would lower your Q3 grade. So I haven't decided what I want to do with those tests yet. But if you're in this and you're saying, I want to improve my grade, maybe you have a C+ and you want to eventually get your grade up to a B. Doing assignments might not be the fastest way to do that. The best way to do that would be to improve your assessment category because that's 60% of your grade. So what I've done is I've decided to have optional assessments. I think we'll have 2 more units that we'll work through this semester. I'm going to have 2 optional assessments, meaning you don't have to take them. Though they will only improve your grade. That would be the best way to get your grade up drastically. That makes some sense. So like there's an example here. If you have 83% currently in your assessment category, I can only count the grades if your score ends up being higher than 83%. Why else it would lower your grade, and I can't do that. Grading scales all still the same. So that's the main process there with the syllabus. I also sent you guys a video. It's going to be where all the that I provide you is. It's a YouTube channel. I've created a YouTube channel that has all the videos that will apply to you. Precalculus will have a precalculus title, and I'm also trying to organize it into playlists. If you were to go to my YouTube channel, I'm starting a playlist for precalculus and a playlist for algebra 2. So you can always access that. Or you can just click in the video stream and that would show up. And I will always post the video in Google Classroom, so you can always access videos there too. For example,
Is that the YouTube, the main focus of how we're going to be learning now?
Yes, YouTube is where I will be posting all, I'm considering them more like notes. If you watched that first video that I shared this morning, it was a little bit more notes based, but what I'm trying to do is have you pause the video and work through some stuff on your own and then double check when I do it to see what changes you need to make or if you were accurate, etc. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Who's talking? Is that Ramon? Yeah, it was Ramon.
That's me.
Okay. I shared this quick survey with you. This is just a way for me to understand what tools you have at home. Like this would be really easy if everybody had a printer at home, but I know that's not the case because I'm sharing the document with you. Like if you were to click on this, apparently it's not letting me preview that file, but that's the PDF document of our lesson. You should be able to print that out if you have a printer, or you can just copy stuff down off of it, or if you really don't want to, you can just take notes from the video on your own sheet of paper, whatever really works for you in that situation. This right here is the very first video that I shared with you, so you can click on this and it should take you to the video. You can either watch it here in Google Classroom or just go to YouTube and watch it there. Either way, it should work. Once you've done that and watched the lesson video, it should have provided you enough information that way you can actually do your assignment. Assignments can be accessed in two ways. First is right here. There's always going to be a link to the assignment in the stream of Google Classroom. But if you click up at the top, there's the classwork icon. Your assignments should all be listed here. Your view would look a little different than mine. I think if I click view assignment, it's going to show all of my students. There will be a PDF document. For some reason, it doesn't let me show it sometimes. I think it should open for you though. A PDF document of the assignment itself. And I'm going to have you enter everything into Google Forms. That way you don't have to like take pictures and send me images of your work. All you have to do is edit or enter all of your answers into this Google form, which I think this will open as the prompts, the multiple choice question or multiple answer question here. You just have to the answer choices and you would click them, and a few free response here as well. You already figured it out. Keep updated with your Google Calendar. That's where any meetings that I do request that you join will be, or all the WebEx meetings, like the one you just joined, should show up in your Google Calendar and you can access it through there. Let's go back to our classroom. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The other thing is, if you don't have a printer, but you happen to have a touchscreen device, something you can download is a Google extension called Kami, K-A-M-I. This is a PDF editor. You can import PDF documents into this, and you can actually write on it on your computer screen. Like if you have a district Chromebook, since it's touchscreen, you can actually write on the document there. So if you don't have a printer, but you have a touch screen, you can use this program to write on any documents that you have, if you prefer to do that. The one other thing that I'm planning to do, I'll probably start it next week, is I mentioned in the syllabus that I want you to spend some time in ALEX, the program that we used for March Madness. I haven't fully set that up yet, and I'll notify you if anything else changes with that if I decide not to do it. But over the course of the week at this point, starting next week, I'm going to ask you to spend a minimum of 1 hour working on stuff in ALEX on top of that. So if you break that down over 5 days, it's less than 15 minutes per day that you would have to spend working in ALEX. Again, if I decide not to do that or change anything with that, I will let you know. And I'll post more information about that as we get to it. I'm trying to figure out how I can plan that out for you. All right, so I do want to open this up for some questions and answers here. And it looks like I already have one. First question is, will there be study guides for the optional assessments? Yes, so when we finish a unit, I would give you information on what you need to do if you want to take that assessment. And I would provide you with a study guide that you can use. In my brain, the way I see these assessments working out is you'll have that study guide. And then in order to take that assessment, that way it can verify if anybody's helping you or something like that, you would have to be logged into WebEx while you're taking that assessment. And I'll try to individualize the assessment so everybody has different versions. That way it's more valid and I know that people are getting information from other people, etc. So yes, I would give you a study guide is a short answer to that question. I'm trying to make this not too complicated. I've heard of other students having really complicated processes in their classes, and I don't want there to be a million different things you have to do, trying to keep the assignment somewhat short. That way you're not spending hours on hours on hours figuring things out. That first lesson video took me a lot longer to film than I intended, so I'm sorry if it was really long. But you can always fast forward and rewind and skip through things if you feel like it, and go back and re-watch videos if you want to. Yeah, if you have any other questions, keep asking me questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Points of the assignment impact our grade? I know this is 100 points, but like, what's the actual percentage?
So assignments are worth 20% of your overall grade. It really depends on how much something can impact your grade, depending on what your current assignment average is. So if you're to go in Zangle, you should be able to see what your average is for assignments. If your assignment category is already high, like if you have a 90% in your assignments, doing more assignments isn't going to raise your grade up that drastically because that 90% is probably already raising your grade. So assignments aren't the huge way of improving your grade if that's what you're working at. The biggest way to improve your grade again would be assessments because that's 60% of your grade. It all really depends on where you're at, and if you're missing any assignments, that's probably lowering your grade. So doing more assignments would make up for that. So I can't give a direct exact number on how much your grade would improve other than assignments are worth 20% of your grade. And that was the same even before being online. Assignments were different or weren't that big of an impact on your grade compared to assessments. The way I'm answering this, I got an email yesterday asking how to improve a grade. The best way to raise your grade is to do all of the assignments and take the optional assessment. If you want to raise your grade, doing both of those things in combination will raise your grade the most. So that's what I suggest. Chrissy's asking, how are we going to take attendance? I'm going to take attendance based on if you're checking. There are a few ways you can check in. You can sign up for office hours. That's one way of checking in. Again, you don't have to go to office hours. That's an optional thing if you have questions in the middle of the week or on Tuesdays and Fridays, really, because that's for pre-calculus. Another way to check in would be to go to tutoring. So in tutoring, that's 11:30 to 1:30 on Wednesdays, I think I said it for. You can go to tutoring. That's a way to check in. Or you can just turn in your assignment. So if you were to go to, let me share my screen again. If I'm looking to see if people are participating, that's really all I'm looking for. When I look at classwork, I should see who turned it in. If I were to click here, I can see which people have worked on it, which people have turned it in. That's a way of checking in, and that's attendance. So It's just participating. That's really the one way I'm going to be able to tell if you have been here or not. So again, 3 things: come to office hours, come to tutoring, or just do your work. And that's a way of verifying your attendance.
I have a question.
Yes. Brian,
Are
how's
you
it going,
gonna?
Brian?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Well, I was gonna ask if you're gonna post all of them, like all the assignments at the same time, or are you gonna post it weekly?
I'm going to post it weekly, so I don't have all the assignments made at this point to post them all at the same time. So your assignments and your lessons will be made available at the latest Tuesday morning and Friday morning. So every Tuesday and Friday, you should have assignments for pre-calculus. I'm going to try to keep each assignment to just 4 problems. Like the current one is 4 problems. So that really adds up to 8 problems every week. So you'll have your lesson, the video, and then you'll have your assignment, which is just 4 problems, and that happens twice per week. Again, I'll post it Tuesday and Friday. Like I said earlier, I might end up having them posted early, depending on how ahead in my work I get. So they might end up being posted on Mondays and Wednesdays. Just follow the Google Classroom and you should see when assignments are there. I've tried to keep a consistent pattern to when they're due. So like in the syllabus, I mentioned that assignments assigned on Tuesday would be due Wednesday at 3:15. Assignments assigned on Fridays would be due Monday at 3:15. So you should have some time to work on those over the course of the days. And a point where you can come ask me questions between either office hours or tutoring. Does that answer your question, Brian? Right. Any other questions here?
How are we taking our final?
Okay, so at this point, a final has been, all district assessments have been, in their words, suspended. By suspended, they really mean cancel. So right now, the way I'm hearing it is we will not have a district final in this class or any of your classes really. The one thing I have considered is to make up that 20% of your grade that was supposed to be for a final exam. I'm either going to just not do it at all, or I would give you some sort of a project to work on that would count towards your final exam grade. That's still 6-7 weeks away. So once we get to that point, I'll tell you what's going to happen. But that's the 2 things I have in my mind are either we're not going to have a final at all because I can't give you an assessment that's mandatory like a final would be, or I'll just give you a project that you can work on that would make up that category. But again, the thing is, everything you can do or everything you have to do here can only improve your grade from what you had in quarter 3. So your grade can never go down below what your percent is currently. So if I were to give a final project, it would only be for grade improvement. If you didn't do it, it probably wouldn't lower your grade. So at this point, no official final, other than maybe a project. And that would be for the pure purpose of improving people's grades. Who asked that? Was that Sam? Yeah.
Yeah. So can we also retake our old test, like the last one?
No.
Okay.
So at this point, retaking assessments isn't an option. If you're saying that one that we just took or that we took right before break, again, I haven't put that in Zangle. My thought of what I'm going to do for that is only count the ones whose, if like you did poorly on that assessment and it would lower your grade, I'm probably just going to drop that score and only count it for the people whose grades improved from it. So retaking it really wouldn't matter because it's not hurting your grade anyway. So right. Keep asking me questions if you have any. What else is here? Hang on. All right. Well, at this point, if anybody has any questions or just wants to stick around and say anything, feel free. If you've had all your questions answered and there's nothing else you need, you can say bye and carry about the day as you would. I'll stick around here for about 5 more minutes. If you just want to say anything or ask any other questions, feel free. If you're good, then see you later.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what if, you know how you said the assignments are due like at a specific time, like you know how it said the next day, like at 3 or Monday, if you sign it Friday.
Yeah.
What if like things get hard on our families and we can't like even afford to go online anymore? Like how would I be able to turn it in, and how would that impact me?
So again, your grade cannot go down at all. If you were to not do an assignment, it would not negatively affect you in any way. So I fully understand everything that's going on with everybody's home lives. I'm just trying to have a specific time that you can turn something in. I believe, I'm not sure yet because I haven't had any assignment due dates. I believe that you would still be able to turn in an assignment late. After that date has passed. If it doesn't end up working like that, I would probably make some accommodation for you to still enter your information in. But I'll try to make it so that you can access it at your own time. I'm just trying to have a date that you can set as your marker for when you need to finish an assignment by. But those are really just guidelines at this point. I'm trying not to take anything and force it on you too hard. But at the same time, I don't want people like 2 weeks later doing the assignment and then it's like, okay, now I got to go back and look at that. So there's a window for it, and I don't want it to be too strict. It shouldn't be that strict. So hopefully that answers that. Yeah, like I fully understand everything. So this is all so weird. Like I'm really bad at working from home too. Like this is a nightmare for me. Because like even when I was in college, I could not get anything done from my house. Like I purposely started scheduling when I realized that if like when I was on campus, when I lived in the dorms, I couldn't get any work done. When I was at home, it was too easy to distract me. It was awful. So when I wound up moving off campus, the only way I could get any work done was if I stayed at school all day. So I would purposely schedule my classes so that I would have time periods in between classes to lock myself in the library and not have to go home. The only times I could get work done were if I was trapped in the library. So now being here, working at home, I'm way too easily distracted and I don't get things done as quick as I want to get them. So it's a whole adjustment for me too. So I totally get it. And then I'm really bad at waking up when I'm at home if I don't have to go anywhere. So and nobody's like verifying my attendance. I can't be late for class. So it's really like, it's hard.
So
My
say
switch is like right there. So it's hard.
I had a question, another
Yeah.
one. What if we were to miss like one of these WebEx meetings?
Okay. So I'm not going to be having like live WebEx meetings that are mandatory unless I really say it otherwise. So this is really the only suggested WebEx meeting that I've planned. But if you can't make it to one that I do, like this, I'm going to download this video and post it on YouTube. So anybody that didn't make a meeting can view the video later, if that makes sense. Like tutoring, tutoring and office hours are going to be the only WebEx meetings that we have. My plan right now is to record all of the tutoring sessions and put those on YouTube as well, or at least important parts from the tutoring that I think everybody could benefit from. So there won't be daily WebEx meetings or really weekly WebEx meetings either, unless I have something that I really want to share with you guys as a whole class. So I don't think there will be too many for you to miss anyway.
Okay.
Cool. How are you guys holding up though? How has this been? Has everybody been? I've literally been trapped in my house for like 3 weeks. I've left maybe less than 5 times to go anywhere. So I'm losing my mind.
You actually left your house? Must be nice.
Yeah, I left my house a couple times. One time to go to my other job, not to work, but to get myself some coping tools. Yesterday, I actually went and got a haircut from my friend who cuts my hair. So it was like one person that I came in contact with. I went on a walk to get coffee. I had to go to Home Depot because my wife broke the shower, so I had to fix the shower. So I had to go to Home Depot to get parts for that. But yeah, that's about all I've had to leave the house. It's been tough. I'm not good at it either. Usually I'm here, like, if I'm at home all day, I just want to leave. It makes me uncomfortable. But yeah, I've been trying to stay here the whole time.
Petition to go to the library and stand 6 feet apart and have class that way. Because, dang, it sucks being home.
Yeah.
Please mute your mic. Oh my god.
Set up, everybody has to wear a mask, wear a bubble around their head. Mask and gloves. We'll see, and we'll see how long this even lasts for. I mean, this could go on for longer than it needs to if things don't happen the way they should, if people don't follow guidelines. So it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, all of this, I've been doing some like math of all this stuff too, so you can actually see how all the math that we look at plays into everything. Like here, let me actually share this. This is pretty cool. Yeah, so in the United States, everything we're looking at is literally, like I've set up a whole Excel thing where I'm modeling all the cases and stuff. Everything we have in terms of infectious diseases can be modeled in a exponential function. And it's really cool because it's base E, which is natural growth. So I've done that for the number of cases in the United States. The number of deaths in the United States is also an exponential function. Compared this to other countries like China and Italy. And even looking at California. California is really crazy because it's like a super perfect exponential fit. Like when you put it on this super cool scale called a logarithmic scale, it's super close to a line, which means, hey, this is a super cool fit. So, yeah. It's like everybody's like, when are we ever going to use this? Well, people are using it all the time. Raquel can't hear anything, but did you say that lessons are being pre-recorded? So let me type this to Raquel because she cannot hear me apparently. Yes, everything is being recorded. All right, so I will log out of this at 1:00 p.m. So again, if you're ready to carry on with your day, feel free. If you have anything else you want to say to me, I'm here. Yeah. Good to see everybody though. I mean, it's been weird. Actually kind of never thought I'd say it, but I miss being in my classroom, even though normally I'm like, I just want to go home. But yeah, it's like, it's different. I feel for all the seniors that are like, this is my first year teaching a whole class of almost all seniors. So this is a weird way to end high school. And I know it's a period of time that I look back at, I was like, I like my senior year, especially those last few months. School stuff went on during that time. So it's like weird to see people lose out on certain experiences. And I'm hoping that they figure out ways to make up those things for you guys or provide other things. I think graduation will definitely be rescheduled though at some point.
I just want my money back if it's getting canceled, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's the word. I know Miss Cedillo, who I obviously work with a lot, is the senior coordinator. So she was telling me something about them rescheduling it potentially. So I don't, it would work out money stuff with that. If it's rescheduled, I don't know if you'd have to go or if they'd just give you your money back. But yeah, I know friends that had to cancel their, or not cancel, but reschedule their weddings. It's like prom is one thing, but a whole wedding, geez, man. I had people who tried joining the meeting but couldn't get in. And people were trying to ask questions. Okay, I'll answer those later. But yeah, it's weird. Weird time. A lot of things getting pushed back. I had to cancel my my anniversary trip because I got married March 30th last year. So my wife and I were supposed to go on a trip over spring break, and that got canceled. I was supposed to do something for a friend's bachelor party, the people who were supposed to have their wedding. That got canceled. So yeah, it's weird. Super weird. All right, everybody. But anyway, hope I answered questions. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to either email me. I'll try to answer those as quick as I can. Or you can write something in a Google Classroom. I think there's a way to message me privately in there as well, and I get those notifications too. So I'll try to be as quick to respond about anything as possible. I know Jose was working on the assignment earlier and thought that I had messed up on something and I fixed it. So he was able to message me right away through there. So if you have questions, you can always ask me in those places. I'll do my best to be on top of stuff. And I'm trying to make it pretty straightforward. So if I'm not, if things are really complicated, let me know. And I want to make it easier for you all to work with. But again, it's been awesome seeing you guys, awesome hearing from you. Hopefully see a lot of you in office hours and tutoring, and we can talk then. But at this point, I'm going to end the meeting. See you all later.